Just use a bit of telekinesis to push it through into the center.
How did you do this?
So the card is actually tethered to a tiny little thread, which is very, very breakable. This could have not worked. Maybe use much thicker glass. In fact, double it up. Have everything move around in a legit way, and why cover the card up with your hand? Just use a bit of telekinesis to push it through into the center between the two panes. Then give it one more little nudge to get it all the way through into the front, where a species of your choice can peel it off. This all gives me PTSD, to be honest. It was very difficult to do this.
How did you do this?
Let's take it step by step. So the things we know are, there's no cuts, right? Because I'm like talking the whole time. I wanted to make sure it's done in a way where like there's no transitions, even though people are still going, oh, it's just transitions, because I could see the card move. So I am doing it in real time. And every time the card is like analyzed, it is a real card really there. So it's just a matter of how are they changing. From the back, it's easy. I put the card right, and when I let go, it just falls down, and we paint out what's there. By that time, there has to already be a card in the middle, right? My long-suffering girlfriend, Emily, is assisting from off-screen with all these tasks. She is quickly inserting a card from here into the slot and then like tapping it so that it flies right into the middle. And sometimes it didn't do that, and sometimes it got stuck halfway or it went too far. We're trying to make it land where I'm holding the card. There's a few frames where I get transition from the one card to the other. And then we're clear. We have the middle card.
So her hand is going into frame right now. As soon as you basically push the card onto the glass.
As soon as it's no longer moving.
Her hand is coming down here?
Yep. It's just like you see the card come in and getting tapped and flying into the center. Now I've let go already. We could probably, if you go back a few frames, these are the frames during which the card, it's too far. Like, yeah, this is when the card has fallen through. On this one take out of like 16 takes of this that we did, it just happened to land exactly where I was holding it, just happenstance. Now it's time to get the card in the front. This one has to come out, the next one has to come in. So when she put the card in, I discussed in this video earlier the invisible thread, the thread that's I think the guy used. And so we have a device like that. So the card is actually tethered to a tiny little thread, which is very, very breakable. And she has to use it to now pull this card out, but not before she, on a long, thin stick, she puts in a card from over here in the place where this card is.
And there's just tape on the card or something?
Yes. So there's double-sided tape on the back of the card.
How do you get it in the exact same place?
Usually the first transition didn't really line up, but the second one, she just has to place it where she sees it. But this one actually, it didn't line up in this take, but we just kind of have the card kind of travel a little bit. You can kind of see it like move.
Yeah.
And as soon as she's placed it, she has to pull out the other one. But sometimes that thread would break and the card is just stuck in the middle and the take is ruined. And the device that has the thread has to be like rethreaded. And so I would stop and I would take off my gloves and we would do the thing. And we would do it again. And it was about 16 takes. And I'm having to obviously do a bunch of paint work of like hiding all of these things and even like putting in the reflection. And that's her actual hand there at the end.
Taking the card off. It feels like such a flex at the end of that video.
There's things I was like, oh my God, once I was watching the footage. I'm so lucky that a couple of the things almost worked. Like I didn't really think about what needs to be behind the glass to do the paint out, and I'm glad it was like plain walls because that stuff is really hard to do with a lot of details behind. I made sure I'm like it's not on top of me. If you just like look at the very beginning, you could see her shadow on me, but I happened to lean in forward at the same time, so it looks like I'm kind of losing the light right there. I think that's her because she kind of leaned in a little too much. So, but it coincides with me moving. So it kind of looks like I did that. And if I didn't do that, it would have been like, oh, you see, that's her moving away. But it looks like it's my movement.
Oh, wow. So it's like, she's like stepping in front of the light.
Yeah. I mean, we figured it out where that wouldn't happen, but she just happened to move differently, you know. I think she went in a little too frontal. So things like that, I'm like, you lucky bastard. Like, this could have not worked. Like we would have just had to bail.
Watch my whole conversation with Alan for free on our Patreon.
So this space is at my parents' house. Back when I still lived at home, that was the only space that was convenient to film. So my dad was always around to help me out with filming.
This character, Captain Disillusion, just how he presents and what he seems like, even versus like talking to you, it's like a huge contrast. I don't know that I even like recognize you if I met you.
Good.